You feel it, don't you? That weight pressing against your ribs, that slow burning rage sitting at the back of your skull. They push, they poke, they prod, waiting, watching. They don't even hide it anymore. They want to see you snap, watch you break into pieces you'll never put back together. That's the game they play, the little trap they set. And you're just supposed to walk right in, right? Take the bait, prove them right, become exactly what they say you are. Weak, emotional, unstable. That's what they're whispering behind your back, isn't it? You hear them. Maybe you pretend you don't. Maybe you keep your head down, keep moving forward like a good little pawn, but you hear them. You feel every laugh, every side glance, every damn smirk when they think you're too distracted to notice. And the worst part? You've been playing along, letting them take their little shots, waiting for the moment they finally stop. But they won't stop. They never stop. Because they're feeding off this. They're sucking the life out of you, draining you of every ounce of control you have left. And that's where the real problem starts. Not with them, but with you. Because you're giving them the power. Let me explain something to you. Control isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's not about punching walls or screaming at the sky or proving some point that no one's going to remember in a week. Control is silence. It's patience. It's knowing exactly what you're capable of and choosing not to show it until the moment is right. See? They expect you to break. They expect the outburst, the reaction, the explosion that gives them an excuse to say, see? Told you they were unstable. And the second you give them what they want, you lose. You hand over the keys to your mind, your strength, your dignity, gift-wrapped and tied with a pretty little bow. But here's the trick, the real magic trick. You don't lose control. You stay still. You stay quiet. You let them talk. Let them whisper. Let them believe they're winning. Because the moment they think you're down for good, that's the moment you strike. Not with anger. Not with desperation, with results. You want revenge? Get it the right way. You want them to suffer. Make them watch you become something they can never reach. That's the real agony. Watching someone you tried to break rise higher than you ever could. Watching the person you counted out become untouchable. No amount of gossip, no petty little mind games, no calculated betrayals can touch someone who's already out of reach. That's what you need to understand. The goal isn't to get even. The goal is to get above. But most people don't get that. They waste their energy trying to prove something to people who aren't even worth a fraction of their time. They throw punches in the dark, scream into the void, beg for validation from the same people who laughed at their pain. And what do they get in return? More mockery, more humiliation. Because when you fight on their level, you're playing by their rules. And their rules? They're designed to make sure you never win. So change the game Let them think you're nothing. Let them believe you're losing. Let them laugh. Let them talk. Let them bet against you. And then, when the time is right, when they're the most comfortable, when they think you're gone, that's when you remind them who you really are. Not with words, not with outbursts, with asterisk actions, with a level of success, a level of strength, a level of self-control they never even imagined you were capable of. That's what destroys them. Not your fists, not your rage, your existence. You don't need to prove anything to them. You don't need to justify yourself, explain yourself, waste another second trying to make them understand. They won't. They never will. And that's fine. Let them live in their small little world. Let them play their small little games while you build something bigger than they ever could. But here's the catch. You have to stay unshaken. No matter what they throw at you, no matter how deep they dig, no matter how much it burns to bite your tongue and walk away, you have to stay in control. Not just for them, not just to prove a point, for you. Because once you master that, once you learn to stand tall in the middle of the storm, to smile while they sharpen their knives, to move forward while they scream for you to turn back, you become something unstoppable. You become something untouchable. And they become nothing. So tell me, are you ready to let them watch you win? Or are you going to let them see you break? Because they're watching, and they're expecting you to lose control. Your move. They think they've got you figured out, don't they? They think you're predictable, easy to control, easy to push. They know exactly which buttons to press, exactly which wounds to poke, and you've made it so damn easy for them. Every time you react, every time you let them see the pain, the anger, the frustration, you confirm what they already believe, that you're weak, that you're emotional, that you're nothing more than another puppet dancing to the rhythm they set. And that's what they love. Not just the control, not just the power, the game, the entertainment. You are their entertainment. Every time you snap, every time you lose yourself, they win. Because the more they see you struggle, the more certain they are that you will never rise above them. That's how they sleep at night, you know? That's how they justify their own miserable, pathetic existence. By convincing themselves that you are beneath them. And the moment you prove them right, even once, you give them a reason to keep coming. Because this isn't about you. It was never about you. It's about them, their insecurities, their failures, their fear of being forgotten, fear of being nothing, fear of looking in the mirror and seeing the truth. And what's the easiest way to avoid the truth? Simple. Drag someone else down. Make them feel small. Make them question themselves. Make them beg for approval that will never come. That's the cycle. That's the game. And you've been playing right into it. You ever wonder why they keep coming back? Why no matter how much you give, no matter how much you bend, no matter how much you try to prove yourself, it's never enough. Because they need you to stay where you are. They need you to believe that you will never be more than the image they've created for you. Because the second you break free, the second you step outside the little box they've trapped you in, they become nothing. They lose the one thing that makes them feel important: the ability to control you. And that's why you can't break. That's why you won't break. Because this isn't about proving them wrong. This isn't about revenge, about making them suffer, about throwing their words back in their faces. No, no, no. That's too easy. That's too predictable. That's exactly what they expect. And you're smarter than that. You're stronger than that. Because real strength, real power, isn't about reacting. It's about choosing. Choosing when to speak and when to stay silent. Choosing when to fight and when to walk away. Choosing when to show your hand and when to keep them guessing. Because nothing scares them more than not knowing. Nothing terrifies them more than the moment they realize they have no control over you. See, they think they want to see you fall apart. They think they want to see you lose it, to see you explode in a fit of rage, to see you prove that you are exactly what they say you are. But what they really fear, the thing that keeps them up at night, the thing that eats away at them every time they see you, is the possibility that they are wrong about you, that you aren't weak, that you aren't broken, that you aren't like them. Because if you aren't what they say you are, then what does that make them? If you rise while they stay in the dirt, if you move forward while they rot in the same place, if you succeed while they fade into nothing, what does that say about them? It says they wasted their time. It says they wasted their energy trying to destroy someone who was always destined to be greater than them. And they hate that. They hate the idea that no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, they cannot stop you. Because they have spent their entire lives believing that people like you are meant to fail, that people like you are meant to suffer. And when you don't, when you refuse to give them the satisfaction, that's the real punishment. That's the real revenge. So stay silent. Stay still. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them bet against you. Let them think you're falling apart while you build something they can't even comprehend. Let them get comfortable. Let them underestimate you. And when the time comes, when the moment is right, you don't fight back. You rise back. You don't give them war. You give them something worse. Irrelevance. Because that's what they truly fear. Not your anger, not your pain, your absence. The moment they realize you don't care anymore, The moment they realize their words don't reach you, the moment they look at you and see someone who doesn't need their validation, their approval, their recognition, that's when they break. That's when they crumble. That's when they lose. And you keep walking, keep building, keep becoming something they will never be able to touch. Because in the end, it's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. And when you finally get to where you're going, when you finally reach the place they swore you'd never see, when you finally stand at the top and look down at the people who swore they would destroy you, you won't even remember their names. They're expecting you to lose control, stay unshaken. You know what's funny? They think they own you, not with chains, not with cages, not with laws or threats. No, they own you with something far more dangerous: doubt. They slip it into your mind like poison, whisper it into your ear like a lullaby. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You'll never make it. And you listen. You swallow every word like it's the only truth that exists. Let it settle into your bones until you start saying it to yourself. That's the real trick. They don't have to break you if you break yourself first. They don't have to ruin you if they can convince you that you were never meant to win in the first place. And that's where most people lose. Not in battle, not in competition, not in the war of life. They lose in their own mind before the fight even begins. They wake up already defeated, already carrying the weight of failure, already believing that the best they can do is survive another day of the same miserable existence. And that is exactly what they want. Because a broken man is easy to control. A hopeless man doesn't fight back. A man who doubts himself is already halfway to the grave, and all they have to do is wait for him to fall in. But you, oh, you're different. You're here, aren't you? Sitting in front of me, listening, absorbing every word. You feel it, don't you? That little voice inside you, the one that refuses to die, the one that refuses to accept their version of reality, the one that's been screaming inside your skull since the day they first tried to put you down. You know the one I'm talking about, that whisper that says, they're wrong. That fire in your chest that refuses to burn out no matter how much water they pour on it. That's the part of you they fear the most. Not your anger, not your strength, your refusal to stay down. Because no matter how much they try, they can't kill that part of you, can they? Oh, they've tried. They've thrown everything at you. Betrayal, humiliation, failure, heartbreak. And yet, here you are. Scarred? Sure? Wounded? Absolutely. But broken? No. Because if you were broken, you wouldn't be listening to me right now. If you were broken, you would have already given up. You would have let them win. And you haven't. You want to know why? Because deep down, you know the truth. You've always known it. You were never meant to stay small. You were never meant to stay weak. You were never meant to be one of them. They see it too. That's why they hate you. That's why they push you. That's why they poke and prod and dig and scratch, hoping, begging for you to crack under the pressure. Because they can feel it, that power inside you, that potential that terrifies them to their very core. And that is why you cannot give in, not now, not ever. Because the second you do, the second you let the weight of their words crush you, the second you lower yourself to their level, you become them. You become exactly what they always said you were. And that is the one thing you cannot allow. Because the moment you let them win, the moment you let them define you, the moment you let them mold you into something small, something weak, something less, you are finished. You will never climb back from that. So don't give them the satisfaction. Don't let them see you doubt yourself. Don't let them hear the hesitation in your voice, the uncertainty in your step, the fear in your eyes. If you have to bleed, bleed in silence. If you have to cry, cry where no one can see you. If you have to fall, fall where they can't reach you. But never, never let them think they've won. Because the moment they believe it, they own you. And that is the one thing you never let happen. Because you're better than them. Not because you were born better. Not because you're smarter, stronger, or faster. No. You're better because you refuse to stay down. You're better because you refuse to let them dictate your story. You're better because you know that real power isn't in proving them wrong. It's in proving yourself right. And when the day comes, when you stand above them, when you rise higher than they ever dreamed possible, when they look up and realize that the very person they tried to destroy is the one who now holds all the power. That is the moment you win. Not because you crushed them, not because you humiliated them, but because you left them behind. And that is the worst punishment of all. Because they will still be there, stuck in the same miserable little world they built for themselves, while you will be untouchable, unreachable, a ghost in the wind, a name they will whisper in regret, a memory they will never escape, and them, they will be nothing. They're expecting you to lose control, stay unshaken, because when the dust settles, when the noise fades, when the games are over and the masks are off, the only one left standing will be you. They want you to be predictable. They want you to react the way they've trained you to react. Impulsively, emotionally, recklessly. Because that's what they understand. That's the game they know how to play. And if you follow their rules, if you fight the way they expect you to fight, then you have already lost. Because they don't need to be better than you. They don't need to be stronger, smarter, or more capable. They just need you to make one mistake. one slip, one moment of weakness, and they'll pounce on it like scavengers, tear it apart, spread it around, twist it, use it against you until you start doubting yourself all over again. You think this is about fairness? You think they care about right and wrong? Number. This is about control. This is about keeping you in your place, because they know, deep down, that you are capable of more than they will ever be. They can feel it, the quiet strength beneath your skin, the fire in your chest that refuses to die, and it scares them. Because if you ever figured out what you were truly capable of, if you ever stopped wasting your energy trying to prove yourself to people who will never accept you, if you ever truly embraced your own power, they would become irrelevant. And that is their greatest fear. So they push you, they bait you, they set the traps and wait for you to walk into them. And every time you react, every time you let anger or sadness or frustration take control, you are doing exactly what they want. Because emotions make you sloppy. Emotions make you weak. Emotions make you easy to predict. And easy to predict means easy to control. But what happens when you stop reacting? What happens when they throw everything they have at you and you just smile? When they whisper in your ear that you're not good enough and you don't even flinch? When they try to shake your foundation and find it unbreakable, do you know what happens then? They panic. They scramble. They lose their minds. Because for the first time, they are the ones who don't know what to do. You want to win? Stop playing by their rules. Stop looking for validation in places you'll never find it. Stop explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds about you. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're weak. Let them believe they have the upper hand. Because nothing destroys a person more than realizing they miscalculated their enemy. And when that realization hits, when they finally see you for what you truly are, not broken, not desperate, not reaching for their approval, but untouchable, that's when the real fun begins. Because that's when they start to fear you. Not because of your strength, not because of your intelligence, but because they have lost the one thing that gave them power over you, your reaction. See, weak people live off of reactions. They feed off the energy of others because they have none of their own. They pick fights, spread lies, play mind games, not because they are powerful, but because they are empty. And the only way they can fill that emptiness is by stealing energy from those who actually have something real inside them. And that's why they keep coming after you, because they see it in you. You have something they don't. You have something they will never have, and that kills them inside. So let them talk. Let them assume. Let them whisper and plot and twist reality however they like. Let them believe for as long as they need to. that they have won. Because the longer they believe it, the less prepared they will be for the moment they realize the truth. The moment they realize that you were never the weak one, that they were. The real question isn't whether you can win. The real question isn't even whether you have what it takes. The real question is, are you willing to let them think they've won? Are you willing to stay silent while they celebrate a victory that never existed? Are you willing to watch them mock you, dismiss you, count you out, knowing that in the end, they are the ones who will break? Because that's the hardest part. Staying quiet, staying still, letting them believe they've won while you sharpen your mind, strengthen your will, build yourself into something they never saw coming. Because when the time comes, when the moment is right, when you finally step forward and reveal the truth, it will already be too late for them. And you won't even care anymore. Because by then, you will have moved on. And they will still be stuck in the same pathetic little games, still chasing a fight that no longer exists. They're expecting you to lose control, stay unshaken, because the only thing more terrifying than a man who fights back is a man who no longer needs to. The truth is simple. No one's coming to save you. No miracle, no justice, no last-minute redemption arc. No one is going to swoop in at the last second and undo the damage, make things right, punish the ones who wronged you. That's a fantasy for the weak. A bedtime story told to children so they don't grow up realizing the world runs on a different set of rules. Rules that have nothing to do with fairness, nothing to do with karma, and everything to do with control. And the ones who understand that, the ones who accept it, they don't just survive, they rise. You see, the ones who win in this world, the ones who build, who take, who own, they don't wait for permission. They don't beg for fairness. They don't waste time wondering why life dealt them the hand it did. They adapt. They evolve. They become the force that others fear. And you're standing at the crossroads right now. Two paths stretch out in front of you, and you already know where each one leads. One road, that's the easy one. That's the road most people take. The road of excuses. The road of, I tried. The road where you tell yourself that it's okay to lose, that it's okay to settle, that it's okay to let the world beat you into submission because, hey, at least you didn't become like them, right? At least you still have your morals, your pride, your excuses, and that road, it leads to one place, nowhere. The other road, that's the one they don't want you to take, the one they fear you taking, because that road means you stop making excuses. That road means you stop blaming the past. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop blaming them. That road means you take every single piece of pain they've ever thrown at you, every single insult, every betrayal, every loss, and you forge it into something lethal, into something unstoppable, into something that can never be broken again. But that road, it's not easy. It's cold. It's brutal. It will demand everything from you. It will rip you apart, rebuild you from the ashes, break your bones and put them back together stronger. That road turns you into something they will never be able to touch again. But most people don't take it. Do you know why? Because it hurts. Because it means you have to face yourself. No lies, no masks, no comforting delusions. It means you have to stare into the darkest parts of yourself and decide, do I let this destroy me? Or do I own it? And that's where most people fall, because they'd rather be comfortable in their suffering than unbreakable in their pain. They'd rather stay small, stay weak, stay in the same cycle of failure and regret. Because the alternative is too much work, too much discipline, too much sacrifice. And that is why they hate people like you. Because deep down, they know they'll never take that road. They know they will never have the strength to push through, to endure, to turn every ounce of suffering into something useful. And that realization, it eats them alive. That's why they try to stop you. That's why they throw obstacles in your path. Why they laugh at your failures. Why they whisper behind your back. Because if they can keep you doubting, if they can keep you questioning yourself, if they can keep you down, then they never have to face the truth. The truth that you were always meant for more than this. So let them talk. Let them spread their little lies, play their little games, try to pull you back into the dirt where they belong. Let them believe they have power over you, because the moment you realize they don't, that's the moment you take everything away from them. Because power isn't about how many people fear you. It isn't about how many people follow you, how many people praise you, how many people recognize your name. Power is about control, self-control, the ability to stand in the face of chaos and not flinch. The ability to hear their words and not react. The ability to keep moving forward, no matter what they do to stop you. Because that is what makes a person unstoppable. Not rage, not revenge, not blind fury. Discipline. That's what makes you untouchable. That's what makes you dangerous. The ability to stand in the fire and not burn. The ability to take every loss, every setback, every betrayal, and turn it into fuel. Because once you understand that, once you own that, nothing can break you again. So I'll ask you again, are you ready? Not for war, not for revenge, Not for some childish game of proving them wrong. Are you ready to win? Because winning, real winning, that means leaving them behind. That means no longer needing them to see you, to validate you, to recognize what you are. That means you stop trying to prove yourself to people who were never worth your time to begin with. It means you walk forward and you never look back. Because the moment you do, the moment you hesitate, the moment you give in to the urge to explain yourself, to show them, to convince them, are you gonna stay here, drowning in their expectations, waiting for permission to become who you were always meant to be? Or are you going to rise so high that they disappear beneath you? They're expecting you to lose control. Stay unshaken, because the second you stop needing them, they stop existing.